Boom. There it goes. Boom, recording.
Okay. Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today, I'm interviewing Jesse Iwuji. Thank you for being on.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So the first question I wanted to ask you was how did you get started in like just racing in general?
Yeah, so how I got started racing, back in really kind of dived back into the story before. So I went to the Naval Academy for college and played football there 4 years and graduated in 2010 and became a surface warfare officer. I've been an officer in the Navy for the last 10 years. I was active duty for 7 years. I've been in the reserves for the last 3 years. After my second deployment in 2014, coming back into 2015, I decided that I always loved cars, I always loved racing, but I decided I wanted to actually get into racing. So I jumped into iRacing and I learned everything I could for a few months in iRacing, and then started also saving up some money and trying to figure things out to get enough money to get into racing. And then April 2015, I did my first race in a late model. And it was really fun. I had a good time, and yeah, I pretty much ran about mid-pack during that race, and that's what kind of showed me right there that I had a little bit of ability. So I wanted to focus on just getting better and better and trying to continue to race. So through finding different levels of sponsorship over the last few years and starting my own business to make extra money on the side to keep on racing and doing everything I can to just get the funding and find the teams and continue to race. That's what I've been doing for the last 5 years now. And, now I'm racing in a NASCAR truck series, but it's just been a constant grind every year to find funding, get seat time, and whatever you can get seat time in so you can get better at driving, and then put it all together so that I can, continue to move up to different levels of NASCAR and do that while still being in the Navy and owning my own business.
Okay. So like you said, you're in the Navy. What would you say the hardest thing what would you say the hardest thing? What would you say? Can't figure out how to say this, but
the hardest thing about being in the Navy and racing in NASCAR?
Yeah.
Yeah, so definitely the time commitment for sure. The Navy demands a certain amount of time, and NASCAR demands a certain amount of time. So you got to know how to mix the timing well. Sometimes I've had times where I've raced on a Friday night in the Truck Series race and had to go do Navy drill on Saturday and Sunday. So I've raced a NASCAR K&N race on a Saturday night and had to do Navy drill on Sunday morning, 8 hours away. So I've had to do that a few times, and it's not the most fun weekends when that happens. But at the end of the day, I'm trying to do both at the same time. So I knew it was going to be a big time commitment, and it's going to take a lot of time, out of my weeks. But it's all good. Like I love doing it. I love being in the Navy. I love racing, and I'm going to continue to do both of them at the same time. So time management. You just got to manage your time wisely and understand that you're going to have some long days, maybe some long nights, but it's all part of it. And, I wouldn't ask for it to be any different.
Okay, so these next two questions I'm going to ask, they kind of fit together. So what's your favorite thing about being a NASCAR racer?
Favorite thing about being a NASCAR driver is, obviously I love the racing. I love going to different tracks and stuff, but I really love the platform that we have in NASCAR to be able to positively affect people's lives, to do great things for people, especially for the fans. So being able to do that for people, that's what I really love, because it's fun. It's cool being able to put a smile on people's faces and help people out and do some great things for them. So I think that's, to me, the most important thing about being an athlete, period, is you get to compete on a platform at a stage where a lot of people don't normally get to. But while being there at that platform, having that platform, you get to use it also for good and positive things to help people. So being able to do that, that's what I love about racing in NASCAR.
Okay, so now what would you say your favorite part about being in the Navy is?
Favorite part about being in the Navy is knowing that, all our efforts combined, between me and my teams and, the ships I've been on, the commands I've been at, all of our efforts combined are for the greater good to help protect this country, right? So we have the freedoms that we have here because of, all the service members who are going out there and fighting the good fight every single day, whether we're here in the States, we're overseas, at sea, in the air, in space, wherever we're at. We're all doing a lot of great things to help keep this country safe and make sure that, other countries aren't invading us. So, everything we're doing, I think, is, it's all for good things. It's all super honorable. And I love being part of that big mission and knowing that, hey, I did my little part. It could be little today, it could be a lot tomorrow, but at least I'm doing my part every single, while I was active duty every day now, 1 week in a month. And that's what's allowing, that's allowing for me to do, to be able to live free and have my family live free and all my friends and people live free.
Okay. So this kind of goes off topic with what we were just talking about, but I'm just wondering, do you have any, like, what's the weirdest fan encounter you had that you can think of?
Weirdest fan encounter. Um, Man, what's the weirdest? I've had some interesting ones. I've had people. I wouldn't say it's weird. It was just interesting. But I had one time some of my fans. They're really cool people, but they were at a track that I was at. It was in I think it's a Daytona. And I was doing some interview on TV, and there was and I think my agent was live streaming, or my girlfriend or agent, whoever was live streaming it on my Instagram or something for me. And then they saw it on their phone, and they were at the same track, and they were listening into the music that was nearby me to find where I was at. So that was like pretty interesting. And then I've met a lot of cool people and a lot of people from different backgrounds, and you know, yeah, I wouldn't say anyone was weird. It's just interesting. People come from different places. Some people talk a little bit different, act a little bit different, but it's all good. They're cool. They're fans. They love what we do, and it's cool to have that kind of support.
Okay, so I was just wondering if you had any favorite racers growing up.
Favorite racers growing up, definitely Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon was one of my favorite racers growing up, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. definitely for sure. Love the way he handles, the media and all the publicity he gets and all that stuff, and just being who he is. That's great. Ayrton Senna, awesome F1 driver. Wish he was still here today. Those are probably some of my favorite drivers growing up that I watched on TV and stuff. So. Yeah, I would say those are my favorite ones.
Okay, so what's your goals for your career?
My goals in my career is to make it to the top level of NASCAR and race full time in the NASCAR Cup Series, and eventually put myself in a competitive environment where I can actually go win races and eventually win a championship. That would be the ultimate goal right there. That's what I'm aiming for, and it comes with time. I mean, I started from the ground floor and didn't have a lot to start with, and even now, I wouldn't say I have all the resources in the world to make that happen, but I'm just trying to do everything I can to put all the resources together so eventually I can make it happen. So just steady grind and believing and knowing that it'll come true, and I'll know I'll get there.
Okay. So, do you have any tips for any future wannabe racers?
Yeah, for people who want to get into racing, my tips are one, get seat time early as you can. And even if you don't start racing when you're 5 years old, even if you got to start when you're 20 years old or 30 years old, it doesn't matter. Get as much seat time as you can and whatever you can. So whether it's go-karting or some really low-level racing, or maybe get into iRacing, get a simulator rig. It doesn't cost that much money to get into that and train on there. But do whatever you can to train on there to get your experience up. And then while you're doing that, work on your marketing side, build your social media platform, build your following, learn how to network with businesses and companies and people who maybe have the funding to be able to help you out. Learn marketing, like learn marketing. Learn what marketing is and how marketing works and how sponsorships work. Sponsorships aren't just companies just giving you money to give you money. That's not how it works. Learn marketing, study it, use YouTube, Google, books, school, learn marketing, and also gain experience driving. So whatever you can drive in a racing competitive environment, do that as much as you can, whether it's virtually on iRacing or in real life. But gain experience, learn marketing, learn how to network and build relationships. You put all three of those together, and then that will help you become a race car driver. So you got to figure those stuff out. That's like the general little topics. From there, it's on you to dive in and really learn about each one of those and how you can increase your abilities and all of that. That's on you. So however hard you want to work, that's what you got to do. But you got to grind. You got to work on it every single day.
Okay, so that's all the questions that I have for you.
Yeah.
Thank you for being on here.
Yeah. Thank
So,
you for having me.
so yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video.